Hi everyone, just give me a second here. If I look like I'm not sure what I'm doing, I'm not. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, I think I have two going. Okay, I'm going to go over to the other one because I think I have two or something going on here, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oh, ho, ho. Oh dear, dear, dear. This isn't easy. Oh, okay, I have to stop this one because this one is not working. Hello, Awkward Quilter and everybody. Just give me a second. I have no idea what I'm doing. Look like a deer in the headlights, I know. Okay, so the first one isn't doing it, so I'm live on that one. So I'm going to have to close this one out. Bear with me. Okay. So there I am. Hello, everyone. Okay, this isn't working. Oh no, not Ro. Sorry, Brenda. Did you find me? I haven't found me yet. I have no idea. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is funny. I have no idea. Hi, Brenda. Okay. I'm gonna find out where the heck I am. There I am. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, this is funny. I have no idea. Hi, Brenda. Just a second here. Okay. There I am. Oh, there okay. So, I think I'm on the right one. I still haven't figured this out. Good grief. Okay. So we're going to, okay, Awkward Quilter, hello. June Hanson, hello. Gladys, the Confident Quilter. Brenda Foley. Linda Denton. Can see and hear you. Oh gosh, thank you. I still haven't figured this crap out. One day. Okay, I'm going to try and type something in chat. And see if everything works. Well, that worked. Heavens to Betsy. Okay, now I just have to find out where else I am. There I am. Okay. So what the heck am I doing? I have no idea. Give me a break. I'm old. Okay. Okay, now I just have to make sure. Okay. Hi, Nanamona and Brenda Foley. You're lagging bad. Okay. I'm not sure if it's just you or is anybody else lagging. Because I'm watching, I've actually got YouTube up on the screen. And, okay. Okay, thank you, Awkward Quilter. Okay, let me just get this back here because I ignore the tech. Yes. Okay, Brenda, thanks. Alrighty. And you can hear me fine, and you can see me, and everything else is good, hopefully. Okay. There's a slight lag, but it could be the 30-second delay. Okay. No problem. I'm just gonna check here. Okay. Let's just keep on talking. Okay, I've got excellent there, so that's working. Okay, Nanamona, you're good here, Shirley, with sound and picture. Katie Crafts, hello. So nice, everyone, to come and visit me today. Got a couple of things to show you, but I'm hoping that I can get the hang of this. Okay. Thanks, Gladys. Gladys says I'm fine. Okay. So, what am I doing today? Let's see if we can switch some cameras here and see if everything is working. Katie Crafts, did I say hello to you? I don't think so. I've got a very bad memory, guys. I'm going to try and, pardon me, I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat. If I miss you, I'm sorry. But okay, let's just go and see if we can put me in the corner. Hi, there I am. And I'm going to check out my desk and see if that's working. There. Woo. Bunch of stuff on my desk here. And if you see behind me, hi, Sue. Sue Norfleet. Okay, you usually see me at Stephen's events. Yes, he's having one tomorrow, isn't he? And Katie Crafts says she is doing laundry and housework and she'd rather be sewing. So I have to label everything. You see, this is the computer and this is the laptop, so I don't forget. I mean, how could I forget? They're two different colors, right? And they're different, but okay, never mind that. Ingrid Bowers. Hello, Ingrid. It's nice to see you. And I guess isn't it the thing we say next is hit the thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, no problem. So what have I got in front of me? In front of me, I have some Pounce and a Clover pen. It's a Chocoliner pen. And I think I saw this on, I think it was the Sew Steady website, that she was using one of these little Clover pens. And so I went and bought it. And it really does work well. But the problem I had was that when I checked the back of it, it says that this does not come off with heat. And I should turn my iron on. Everyone's saying hi to each other. I'll just turn my little mini iron on. And anyway, with the Chocoliner pen, it doesn't come off with heat. And I guess I could have read the inside. And I did not like the idea that you had to, and it says on here, you have to pat the powdered ink to erase lines and marks. Wash the fabric with detergent to remove any persistent marks. So that wasn't really what I wanted. So what I did was I emptied it. And I emptied the contents of this little pen, and I bought myself some Quilt Pounce. It's a, okay, sorry, so I don't forget, Awkward Quilter says that's the cutest little iron. It looks like a wallpaper steamer. It is a Dritz mini iron. Yes, the Chocoliner does dust off, but I found a product. It's called Quilt Pounce by Hancy Creations Incorporated, and it's the Ultimate Pounce Powder Refill. And it says, swipe it on and iron it off. I have seen the powder, the Quilt Pounce, in, I think it's pink and blue and white. But it does not come off with the iron. And this one, it's non-toxic, rinse with water if contact with eyes. Well, I won't poke this in my eye, hopefully. But the other Pounce, you have to dust it off. Where this, this does come off with the iron. And the thing was, here I have a bag of it, and when I emptied this, I needed a way to get this powder into here through that little hole. Now, let me see if my techie stuff works here. Just give me a second. Okay, techie stuff here now. Ooh. Can you see that now? I've kind of zoomed in a bit. So how do you get this powder into that little hole? And the first time I did it, I made a big mess because I tried with a funnel and the funnel was too big. So I found a little funnel, and yes, I did manage to get it in there. But what I'm going to be doing over the next little while is I am going to be quilting the quilt behind me. So I came up with an idea to get that in there without making a big mess. And I've tried this and it works. So in all my little goodies that I have, I found that I had a bottle. This is a Martha Stewart bottle. You can use any kind of a bottle that has a small enough tip that will fit into here. And then all I did was I put it in here, and now all I have to do is just squeeze the bottle and it fills up, and I'm not making a big mess every time. Whew. And put the cap back on, and I've got it filled up. And that's the minimum, so I can fill up the rest of my bottle and not have to make a big mess every time I want to fill up my little choco liner. So I did discard the stuff that was in here, and to fill my bottle, the cleanest way to do that was to take the cap off. The funnel fits in there, and I found out if you use a metal spoon instead of a plastic one, there's less static buildup or whatever it is, that you can just scoop it in there, put it in there, and give it a little tap, and it'll go down into there. So that's my little trick for that. Any questions? Okay, so I'll refill and get this all filled up. And of course I did put some plastic spoons in there, but it's too staticky. Okay, so that's what I did there, and it gives less mess. Now I do have also, that's my little trick for that. And I have some fabric here. Let's get this fabric. It's green. So just in case it's not showing up on camera that it is green. So the nice thing about this is that you can draw a nice fine line. And I've got my scraps inside my little piece here, so, and they're in a plastic bag, so I'll take them out of there. And so when I draw a line on my quilt, I can just take the point and run it along there, and it gives me a nice fine line. With I never use the pounce that comes in the pink or blue or white, because that pounce does not come off, and I found that it does can sometimes leave a residue or a color on it, and I don't want to take the chance of having color left on. So here I've drawn a line. Oh, you can't see that very well. So I'm going to just draw that line a little darker so you can see it, because I want to show you how it does come off. So there's the line. Now, I have a little sponge dauber, and these are, they're for, give me a minute, I'll think of it. It's for my mom. I used to take care of my mom, and they used these swabs to dip in water and go around her lips and everything. And I found another use for it, because she had some, and of course anything they leave behind, the nursing, she had home care, so they can't take anything home with them, they have to leave them. So I had a bag of these after she passed away, and I thought, well, maybe I can use them for something. So what I've found is that I can take this little sponge and wipe away the marks. And eventually, when you're doing your free motion quilting or whatever, this will eventually wear off. So there I have taken it off with that little sponge, and I found that that was the easiest way. Anything that was left on there, that when I draw my quilting design on, when I go to do free motion quilting or whatever, I can just erase it. If it doesn't come off completely, I can just take my little mini iron and just place it on there. And I have this little iron set on 4. And I have tested this on a lot of fabrics. Now, I think you can see it does leave a slight discoloration. But then I wasn't worried about that, because it's not that noticeable. And I will do my little techie stuff here again and see if we can get closer so you can see that exactly what it looks like. Now, hopefully you can see that. And the line is right there. That does come out with plain water. So again, if I want it to really come out, and I don't want that to show on there, what I would do is simply take that little swab, dip it into water, squeeze it out, and then wipe it. Just plain water. And you might be able to see that there is a little line there, but it's not going to be noticeable. So I'm just going to dab that and see if it does work. Okay, it still left a little bit of a line right there. You might be able to see that if I've got this in there. And then I'm just going to press it dry. But it does come out in the wash, so if I press this dry, I don't know whether you can see that. Give me a second. I'm going to zoom back out here a bit. Oopsie. But if I go over this with the iron and let it dry, it still has left a mark, but it will come out in the wash. I've tried it. I've also, I'm very skeptical of things, and I do test everything before I use it to make sure that I'm getting the results that I want. The other thing is, okay, so I'm back out to here now, and I have tested friction pens, and the only friction pen I will use is the black one. They do come in other colors. I have found, hello Sarah's Quilting Journey. Oh, also great for cleaning your keyboard. Oh, okay. Good idea, Awkward Quilter. Okay, so, and I do have the friction pens that I think there was pink and green, and I'm not sure what other color. I won't use these because when I did my testing, these two colors left marks, and I didn't want any markings because I do mark on my quilts on there. So the only one I use is the black one. Have I tested it to see if it comes back when you get it cold? Yes, I did. I actually put it in the freezer, put my quilt in the freezer, and it did come back. But after I washed the quilt, it was completely gone. But that's only with the black one. So that's the only one I use right now. Anybody have any questions or anything? Did I miss anyone? Okay, so I think I've kept up with the chat. If I haven't and I've missed anybody saying hi, I'm sorry. Okay, what can I show you next? I do have a whole bunch of quilts and everything that I need to get quilted. I'm not real good at free motion quilting, so I use my machine, which is a Pfaff 4.5, and I do in the hoop edge-to-edge quilting, and I use the metal hoop. So that is how I do my quilts, and in another video I can show you what that looks like. But I did want to give you another little tip that I have found, and that is with my ruler. And I'm going to get that. I went shopping, and everybody uses those big things that go on top, and they put them on. I originally had used a, don't know where I put it, but it was a command hook. And when I went out the other day, which I don't get out too often, but I went out and I was looking around and I found some clear ones. And it looks like a little doorknob. And when I had put the other command strips on with a little holder, it wasn't clear and I couldn't see all my markings. These ones are nice and clear, and I can see my markings through. I have used my rotary cutter And yes, I have cut my thumb. Where now when I put this one in the middle, I can put this here, hold my ruler, and keep my thumb out of the way. Awkward quilter. How long have I been quilting? I have been quilting for approximately, really delved into it about the last 5 years. I am, or I was, a certified stretch and sew. If anybody knows what that is, they had patterns years ago, and I am dating myself, but I was a certified instructor for stretch and sew when they were still in business. And I sew with knits. I made all my garments. I've sewn bras, panties. I sewed my husband's suit. I make everything. So I have a sort of, I, I'm more, or was a garment sewer to begin with, but I got into quilting, and I usually use 65 polyester, 35 cotton. However, that was for the garment making, because when you started out as a garment maker and knits came in where you didn't have to iron them, and you didn't have to worry about serging the edges, and you, with 100% cotton, that was a thing that was like, oh no, not 100% cotton. It shrinks, you have to finish the edges, and then you have to iron it. 100% cottons have come a long way. And I did make my first kaleidoscope quilt back in the 90s, and that was the only one I made up until about 5 years ago. And then I started actually following directions. And I did take a piecing course through a local store that was in my area. Hope that answers your question. I've really gotten into the quilting now. I love it. And I do use 65 poly, 35 cotton. And I do have a little stash of 100% cottons. I always say I'm physically and financially disabled. So that's why I use what I have. And so that's a little history about me. I love to sew. I think I have 4 sewing machines in here and have a serger. And so anyway, now the next thing I want to show you is what happens. Some of you may know these tips and hints and whatever. I just thought I'd share them. Oh, and I did purchase some little ones of these little knobby things, and they do come with the clear adhesive. So I may put that on one of my smaller rulers because it'll fit on there, and I can hold on to that instead of sticking my finger over the side and cutting it off with my rotary cutter. I prefer to keep my fingers, I guess. So now, what happens if I can find my piece? What did I do with it? I had it here. Oh no, I've lost it. That's not it. I had brought it out. I have a very, very small, there it is, sewing space. It's in a bedroom. I live in a 2-bedroom condo, and one of my bedrooms is strictly craft and sewing. And I did do a video on showing you my sewing room. I hope that answered your question, Awkward Quilter. Now, I'm not sure of your first name. I know I've got to know some of you with your YouTube names. Also, one thing I wanted to let you know is that I have subscribed to almost everyone that is in here that is a content creator. It's just that my everything is private, so you won't see my name coming up as a subscriber because my it's all private. But now, Lisa. Okay. Now, what happens when you have a tone-on-tone white and you're trying to figure out which is the right side and which is the wrong side? And this is a tone-on-tone white. And, okay, I do have it. My husband and I used to run a gas bar, and we had to check for counterfeit bills. So I had bought this, it's a UV light, and it was originally used for scanning your bills to see if they were counterfeit. And I saw on someone's channel where they said if you use a black light or a UV light, and it's ultraviolet, not LED, it is a UV or black light. So I'm going to put this in, and hopefully I put the batteries in. But if you run a black light over your tone-on-tone fabrics, now you can see it. Oops, clumsy fingers. Okay, hopefully I've got the batteries in the right way. And of course that's not working. That's working, but I could have them in backwards. Let's just do that again. Okay, yes. I have put them in wrong. This doesn't tell you which way to put the batteries in. Oh, there. Let's try this again. So I put one in like that. And then these ones, I think, go in this way. Okay, now let's see if that... Oh no, my UV light is burnt out. Heavens. But anyway, of course, you know, when you're doing YouTube, if it's going to fail, it'll fail. But if you use a black light, and it worked the last time, so good grief, I wanted to show you, and it's not going to work. That sucks. Let's try it the other way. Let's see if this works. I don't think it's going to. Oh yes, there it is. Okay, you can see finally. Just had the batteries in wrong. I should label them which way they go, and then I won't have that problem. But the light, if you shine the light on your fabrics. Now I'm going to try and get this so you can see it. Just a minute. Let's see if we can use our technology and zoom in a bit. And I don't know whether that zoomed in or not, did it? Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, of course it wasn't. Oh, there we go. It is working. Okay. Now, it's not going to show it really well, but as you can see right here, this isn't going to show it real good, but if you try this with a black light, and you can get flashlights that have a black light, and you can see what I'm seeing, maybe if I hold it back, I am seeing that this is the right side. You can see as I move the light across that it is showing. Now, what I am seeing here, and I don't know oh, here it is. Okay, what I'm seeing here is the design or the pattern, and you can't see it on camera, but the right side of the fabric, the lines when I'm looking at it are yellow. And that's what it shows up like. Now I'm going to turn it to the other side and show you that it really does work. So this is the right side of my fabric. You can sort of see the little lines in there since I've zoomed in. But now I'm going to run it across the back of the fabric and just show you that those are not showing up. I can see it, but it is not. So that's the right side of the fabric, and that's the wrong side of the fabric. So why do I think that's kind of helpful? Well, because when I was using a tone-on-tone white, I had trouble seeing it. Now this one, I can really see. This one's not bad, but some of them, you have a real hard time seeing the design on the right side. And it is kind of hard to tell the difference. And I always had to take it to my sewing machine and put it under my LED light of my sewing machine. Okay, awkward quilter magic. So how many of you knew that you could use a black light to find the right and wrong sides of your fabric, of the tone-on-tone? Okay, I'm just going to zoom back out. And, okay, so far, everything is looking good on my end. Any questions? So I've shared some things with you. Hopefully some of this has been helpful. Anything else you want to know about me? Hopefully everyone's doing well today. Oh, I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and we have had a tremendous amount of smoke in the area. And today wasn't too bad of a day. It started out very nice and sunny, but the smoke has come in a little bit. It was nice and clear. Awkward quilter. Lisa, you didn't. I normally use dots, the type you get from the office supplies. Yes, that's good. Also, one thing you probably should know about me is that I do all types of piecing, I love FPP, which is foundation paper piecing. And I usually convert most of the patterns that I'm going to use, I convert them to FPP. I'm old and sometimes my hands don't work. So I've found that using FPP with freezer paper. The other thing is freezer paper. I use freezer paper for everything. I use freezer paper for wrapping around my thread spools. And just give me a second here. Oh, come on now. There. Anyway, these don't have anything to put around them. And like I said, I'm physically and financially disabled, so I use anything I can. So what I do is I just take and wrap a piece of freezer paper around the thread to keep the ends in, and I'll wrap it around. And of course, before I do that, I do write on it what it is. And then I just take my little mini iron and secure it down. And I try not to, I just overlap the ends, and then it sticks. So that's the way I hold my loose threads on my threads, and I have the number of the thread around it, and then I have a big box or a tub underneath. I have also made little labels, and this is the way I store my fabrics here. But I made little labels with my printer, and then I labeled it with 65 poly, 35 cotton, and I just press the freezer paper on, and then when I close this up, I put my scraps, any of the scraps, in a little bag, and I'll tuck that in after I wrap it with freezer paper. So most of my fabrics have a little freezer paper wrapping on it. And then I wrap it up. Just going to put this underneath. Freezer paper will stick to it itself. So I'm just going to wrap that back up. Press it. And that's going to hold it together. My little scraps I'll put inside. Tuck it down. And if I think they're going to fall out, I'll just take a freezer paper piece and close up the little end. And it comes off. I can reuse the freezer paper. And that's about it. This holds everything in, so if I take this out, then my scraps aren't going to fall out. Okay. You buy this, okay. Lisa's saying that she uses the Avery dots. Yes, the little ones. Yep, they will not harm your fabric. Some people have used painter's tape or what do they call it? Oh, I can't remember what it is, but they have. I can't think of the name. Can anybody remember? It's not. They never called it painter's tape. They called it something else. But that years ago, I used to use that. Hello, Nedra. That's my grandson. It's nice to have you here. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. That's my oldest grandson, Nedra. He has a YouTube channel as well. Okay, some of the tone on tones are difficult to see. It's just an inexpensive way for me to keep the right side up. Very good. Do whatever you need to do. And pardon me for losing my voice. Scotch tape? No. I would use, I wouldn't use Scotch tape, masking tape. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it has a residue that stays on cotton. I agree. That's, yeah. I do believe that they now have come out with certain kinds of tape and certain kinds of tape that it's removable. Scotch tape, no. Not only that, but Scotch tape, if you've got it on your garment or on your fabric and you press it with an iron, that's going to cause a bit of a mess. Yes. Yeah, I know years ago we used masking tape, but no. And also fabric markers. Fabric markers have improved quite a bit. Years ago when they first came out, I had put some on some fabric, and I guess I must have ironed it on because it has not come out, washed the fabric and everything, and the blue line stayed in. So, okay. Hopefully I've shared you a few things. So what's Mum up to today? Or Nedra, sorry. You may have left. Okay, so if you have any questions, my YouTube is not fancy. I test everything, like I said, and I try things. I never, if someone says this works, I will always test it because I guess I'm very skeptical, but that's why I started out when I was doing FPP that I tried using the pin method and everything. It didn't work for me. Might work for some, but it just didn't work for me. So I found ways to use the freezer paper and also half square triangles and flying geese. I struggled when I first tried doing them, and I tried every single way. So I found I tried every way, the 4 at a time, the flying geese method, and then of course then I came upon, well, if you use this ruler, they come out perfect. And then I saw someone say, if you use this ruler, they come out perfect. And it was like, okay, well, which one do I buy? And if I buy both of them and I don't like either of them, I've wasted my money. So I do not have all the specialty rulers that they use for making half square triangles and flying geese and everything. I do FPP, and I do not buy the FPP papers. So there I'm confessing that I don't do things the normal way, and I can't afford to buy all the fantastic things out there. But man, I tell you, I have a good supply of freezer paper. So, any other tips? So you've never heard of those ones, Linda? Okay. You're welcome, Lisa. Um, thank you for joining and commenting on that. That makes me feel good. So now I guess where am I here? Let's take me out of the corner and we'll just do some little chit chat. There I am. Okay. I may not be the best looking, but I smell good. Okay, so tips. Let's see. That's about all I have for today. I do have some things that as I sew and do my piecing and everything, that I do things just a little bit different. I don't like to waste fabric, especially if I'm using 100% cottons. And like I said, I don't have a large supply of them, but I do have a lot of poly blends. And I did find out from a quilter who probably is known to you through YouTube, Stephanie Stitches, that when a quilt, when you enter a quilt in a show, apparently they don't care what the fabric is. So now, and I was always trying to buy the 100% cotton so that if I ever did decide to enter something in a show, it would be 100% cotton, and then find out I don't need to use 100% cotton, so I'm going to use my 65-35s that I have a stash of those. And I know some people have asked to show them how I do a few things. Knits is one of them, working with knits and garments. I have been away from YouTube for a while because of the simple fact that I have health issues, nothing serious. Biggest one is old age, but I guess I can live with that. I do have fibromyalgia, and I am on blood thinners. I did have a couple of blood clots in my lungs and everything at the beginning of COVID, and never have had COVID, but anyway, medications, I've had side effects from medications, and that's what's kept me away from YouTube for a while, but I think I'm on the mend. And okay, so Lisa, you have one of your husband's grandmother's quilt, a blend of all different materials. You use what you have and it will create something beautiful. I agree. I totally agree with that. Like I've just finished this one. These are my practice pieces. I have lots of orphan blocks and everything, and I had some leftover fabric, and I just put them together. I had enough to make 4 blocks, so I put them together, and this is all poly cotton, and that's just an FPP pattern. So I thought, well, I'm going to put it together, put some borders on it, and what I'll do is put a backing on it, and maybe someone would like it for a baby, or not a baby quilt, but a doll quilt. And if you notice, I have pressed a freezer paper label onto it. And the quilt behind me, I have lots of quilts to um, quilt, pieced quilts to quilt. I'm still learning all the terms, and in an upcoming video, I'm going to be showing how I bind my quilts. So I'll be binding this one. And yes, when I quilted it, I used white thread and the green and everything. And these are practices. And yes, it's polyester, 65 poly, 35 cotton. And yes, it does show through. But I figure put it on a table, put a couple of plants on it or something, and if anybody wants to check it out. But I'm going to be doing a video on binding. So anyway, okay. So that's about it for today that I can share with you. Hopefully I can get this YouTube thing figured out about scheduling a live. That's my problem. I can sew, I just can't figure out technology. But anyway, so if you see that I'll pop up live, and I won't schedule it. So hopefully everyone is subscribed and everything, and hopefully I've helped you with a few little things, and I'm glad everyone came, and I hope you have a good weekend. It's a long weekend here in Canada. I believe they call it Memorial Day, and so I might pop on anytime, and I won't schedule it, and that way you won't be trying to find me wherever I am. I'll just pop on through, and I won't schedule it. So okay, thank you everyone for coming, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, and save up your questions, so if you have any, you can ask me. I might not know everything, but I can maybe give you some answers, and do what works for you. Bye-bye.